Hello, welcome to my live class on drawing the heart chakra, also known as the Anahata. So, I'll be talking about a little bit about this chakra and what we can learn from it as we're drawing. So before we start, make sure you have your compass, a paper, pencil, ruler, and sketch pad. And let's get started. Alright, so with your blank paper, we're just going to take a deep breath, sink into the heart, look at this empty paper and envision what's going to unfold before us with the heart chakra. Endless possibilities. Now, as I've started in the last lives, I'm wondering which way to turn my page so you can see it better. Maybe like that. We're going to start by just measuring halfway across the page and putting a little mark at about halfway. You know what? You might as well just draw a really thin line, because when we measure the page the other halfway, we're going to be finding the middle of that. So this is about right here. Okay. I know I'm drawing in pencil. I'll try to zoom in a little bit more. I'll take the compass. I would say about 3.5 centimeters-ish. Line's a bit too big there. And we're going to draw the first circle. Now, we're going to be drawing the heart chakra here. I've been drawing one a little bit. I haven't quite finished it. But this is sort of what we'll be working towards. This is flipped, unfortunately, so the symbol in the middle actually goes the other way. But there's a bunch of different components to the heart chakra, and I've embellished it a little bit as well. So you can see this one has the symbol in the middle, the Sanskrit seed symbol. They don't all have that symbol. Then there's the hexagram around the outer of the symbol in the center, and I'll explain to you a little bit about that, although we have talked about that before, but I'll explain it again for the new people. Then around there's 12 petaled lotus petals, and I've done another 12 around the outside, which I haven't put in pen yet. I've also made this into more of a yantra form, where I've put a box around it, and you can see this really nice, if I turn it around then it's the proper way, this really nice metal sculpture that I have that has the yantra symbol of the square around it with the portals, and the symbol in the middle, the 12 lotus petals, and the hexagram around it. So it does look nicer the proper way, but it's flipped on the live. I'm not sure why. So, I mean, I could just trace this, but that would be cheating. So, yay, welcome. Okay, so starting on your blank page again, let's see that you have your first circle there. And as everything, I'm going to start with the seed of life. So let's start at the top-ish and draw another circle the same size. Now we're going to erase these later, but for now. And then where those match up, there, we're going to draw another one until we keep going around where those circles match up. And we're going to get 7 circles in total. So this is number 4. 5. There's no one joining me for today's class. Just thought I'd do a kind of a spontaneous one today about the heart chakra. And I'll be discussing it as we move on. Right, so starting off with a nice seed, trying to get my page in the center of the screen there for you. And just let me know if any of you are joining in with a sketch pad and your compass and drawing with me today. I see a few friends on there. It's nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Okay, so from here, I'll make sure we have that straight line through the middle. Like that. That matches up with this point, the middle, and this point. We will be using that in a minute. However, first let's draw the middle hexagram. So a hexagram is two triangles, one's facing up and one's facing down. So you see we have a seed of life here representing the 7 days of creation, 7 circles. It's also on my hand, tattooed. I love starting most of my designs like this. I've tattooed the seed of life on my hand, and if you expand it, it's infinite possibilities. It turns into the flower of life, the fruit of life, and which you can from there create the Metatron's cube, all the platonic solids. But now I'm getting away from myself. So let's keep going. So we're going to draw 2 triangles, one facing up and one facing down. So you can see the petals here, there's 6 of them. So the 3, 1, 2, 3, cross from each other, and at the bottom we'll create the first triangle, which points down. Now this is the water element of the hexagram triangle, the feminine, of the triangle pointing down. It also represents the physical plane. Now the hexagram, also known as a few different things, like the Star of David, some might know, with the representing Jewish tradition, but it's also known as the star polygon, and Solomon's seal in other religions. Yeah, but to me it represents the balance between the physical and the spiritual, the male, the female, as above, so below. And then the balance of everything in unity. So that we're going to start with that. I hope I'm not going too fast. And that's in focus. Everything kind of shaking. Sorry. Alright, back on track. Jack. Okay, so remember that line that we did across before we drew the hexagram? Well, where that line matches the very first circle we drew is right here. So there's also another place where it matches it, which is here, but just choose one spot and then take your compass in the exact same place where it was used to draw the first 7 circles. And we're going to draw more. So keep going. Now the secret behind using the compass, one secret anyway, is make sure your page is flat. That's one thing that sometimes people like the pages all mixed up and then the circles get skewed. But, so where this circle touched the first circle there, then that's where we're going to draw the next one. So the point of all of this is to make this seed of life divided into 12 sections so we can do the 12 petals around the outside, which I'll be talking about as well. So where that crossed there, this main circle, we're going to do another circle. Try to say the rest of this live without saying we're going to. It's my challenge. Now this is where the original point was, where the circle crossed the line. On the other side, we'll keep going. Now where that crossed the line, we're almost all the way around. Turn up some background music. Of course, the music's not stopped. Okay. And back to the beginning. Isn't that nice? Now that was only, what, 5 minutes in? I don't even know what time it is, but already we've got a nice little drawing there that you can shade and color in infinite a number of ways. But to continue on for our heart chakra, something that looks more like this, well, we can start with the center. So, I mean, it's up to you. Not all heart chakra designs have this symbol in the center, but a lot of them do, and if you're interested, it's actually not that hard to draw. So I'm going to erase the hexagon in the middle, or the middle of the hexagon there. And, well, as I did that, I started to erase the pencil. So let's just go ahead and take our pen and work on the middle first. I love doing this. Now in my other drawing, with a hexagram, I did it all in dots. I think it looks fairly nice. This one, let's do it in lines. Why not? It is faster. And I have the ruler there. Start one. Now pretty much anybody can draw this if you can use a ruler and a compass. It's amazing how beautiful it looks, yet it's not that complicated. It just takes a concentrated effort. And before you go and erase in there, just wait till it dries. And then I'm going to erase a little bit more. Sometimes I like to use the end of my pencil to erase because it's more precise and then there's less chance of the line ink smudging. Oh, I think it's dry, so we're good to go. Now I'm just erasing inside the hexagram. Of course, the middle point will still be there. You can still see it. There we go. Now, it's up to you if you want to draw this heart chakra Sanskrit design, but you know, I'd like to encourage you to not have to rely on the ruler and the compass and just look at the design and recreate it, you know. So the first time I drew this, I did use a ruler to make those two lines at the top, but with practice, the freehanding of straight lines gets so much easier. Now there's different ways to draw this U shape. It almost looks like a nose. The one I drew here had more of a sort of Japanese brush style, calligraphy style. And this one here has more of a curved style. So this time I'm going to do the curved style. Now this is the symbol of Anahata, which represents the heart chakra. It means unstuck. Now also with this, sometimes there's a little moon at the top, like a little half moon. Sometimes there's not. It's interesting, this symbol. I did a bunch of research to find out the meaning of it and was having a huge challenge finding out any information, honestly. Yeah. Do it in a little bit further. At least if you don't feel like drawing this symbol in the center, you can do anything else. You can use that point and create a mandala in the center, but generally the middle is the focal point. It's the center. It's the space of calmness. It's the unity point. The singularity. As I mentioned with the yantras. Alright, so we've got that. Now let's start on our petals. So I'm going to take my big ruler, and I said I'm gonna, not we're gonna that time. And I'm trying not to say we're gonna. The last video, you know how you always listen to your voice and then you pick up things? Oh, make sure I have that center point. And then from the center point, and you see this first, around the very first circle that we drew, there's a little layer of tiny little, I guess, what do you call them, like little humps, or I guess I used to call them scallops, or they've been called different things, these little petals here. We're going to be making our own petals, which are shaped more like these petals, so they're not just the way they are here. So we have to split them all in half. So the first little round of tiny little petals, there are 12 of them if you count. Taking the pencil and putting it at the top of one of the petals, lining up the ruler, and then putting the pencil in the middle to make sure that it's straight. And then draw a line. Actually, I'm going to draw a line a little bit outside of the mandala, but don't go to the inner part, like stop at the middle circle. Excuse me. Alright, so we've got, maybe I'll go a little bit higher so we can expand the mandala afterwards, since we do have more of our page available. And that's about it for that. From here, keep going and expand, or cut each of these smaller petals in half. Now, during this, I'm going to put on some music. If I can get there. Aha. Now, for those of you who weren't ready for this live today, you can always go to my YouTube channel where I'm going to start to put them all. I've got 2 on there so far, so brand new at all of this. But it's a way for me to get more confident at using my voice and sharing my knowledge that's stuck in there but doesn't always want to come out, you know? So, talking about the heart chakra, as I split all of these smaller petals in half and keep going to the more end of the page, it is the 4th chakra of the 7 chakra system. Chakra means wheel, and this is the one that represents the heart. Love, joy, inner peace, trust, compassion, empathy, love, and being loved. It's the giving and receiving. It's challenging to go into all of it while I'm drawing, but we're going to keep going because here we have, well, there's 12, but I want to keep going so that there's the double, so that these ones also get cut in half. So it'll be a lot easier for us in the long run if the second round now of petals gets cut in half. So I'll explain to you why that's easier. Just trust me on this. So going all the way through. Guess I could have done the first time. So as you're drawing the heart chakra and just drawing in general, really think about being in the present moment. I do use drawing as a sort of meditation. You get lost in your creation. Maybe why it's more challenging to explain and talk while I'm drawing. And I don't generally talk while I tattoo either, so that I can sink in and really focus. Wow, that looks like the heart chakra is just like beaming. Now, it's the chakra that's green out of all of the chakras, and it's the air element or wind, which is associated with the deity Vayu. It's known to be the chakra that regulates the immune system, the lungs. It comprises the area of the heart, of course, the thymus gland, the hands and arms, the giving and receiving. You give out of your right hand and you take out of your left hand, and the heart, as it beats, gives and receives the blood that's oxygenated to the lungs, or to the blood from the body that's not oxygenated, brings it to the lungs, and then collects it from the lungs to distribute it to the rest of the body. So the heart chakra, the heart, is really assimilated with the state of being, and the beat of the heart can ripple through your existence. So your vibration through the beat of the heart is reflected through you, and it reflects on everything around you, like kind of like an aura. And the way your heart's beating fast or slow can really affect the people around you, the energies around you, and how they react to you. So when your heart's beating slow and you're relaxing and you're calm, and somebody would step into the room, they might automatically feel that calm, relaxed state. Whereas if someone steps into the room and you've been cleaning the house and going crazy and you're looking for something, and that sort of anxious energy will be present, and people will notice that. So it's really interesting to me to think about the heart chakra, and when I do and look at this symbol, to think about just being aware of your heart and how it's beating and how fast or slow it's beating, and what that can tell you about yourself. It's a really beautiful part of the body, a beautiful muscle. It's the first thing when you're born that a parent will notice, or anybody will look at, is the heart beating. And then as you're born and you hear this dun 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 dun, and then it just keeps on going for the rest of your life, generally. I mean, I know there's some people like me actually who have had near-death experiences, and maybe it stopped for a little while, but life is the heartbeat, and it's this rhythm, and it keeps giving and taking and pumping, and determines your state of being too, if you can just focus on controlling it a little bit, and how it's doing, how it's being, its state. But continuing on, I'm hoping most of you are caught up by now. We're going to take the compass again, make it bigger, and do another circle around that small row, or I guess circle of small petals. I'm going to draw a circle around at the top of the smallest petals. So right there should match up with the points. If you drew your original circles correctly. If you didn't, don't worry. There is perfection in everything, even imperfection. Alright, now to find the middle of those, so we can draw the first round of petals, make your compass a little bit smaller and actually make it the same size as it was originally. So I'm going to match it up from the center to the circle around. And then do you see where this line matches up with your original circle? We're just going to do a mark from the point of the original circle to where this line touches it along one of these small petals. Just do a little mark there. Now that's an indication of the halfway point between this line and that one. So we're going to make our compass a little bit bigger. Am I saying we're gonna again? I am, aren't I? And draw another circle there. Okay. Now from there we can start drawing the 12 petals, and as I'm drawing them I'll explain a little bit about what they mean, or what I think they mean to me. So the first one is I'm going to use this point and this point. And the middle here is the middle of the middle circle we did will be where it matches up the middle of the petals. So we draw kind of a line, a little curved line this way, and when it crosses the midpoint, that circle we just drew around in the middle of the small petals, then we curve it the other way. And then try to match it up on this side, curve it the other way, and then curve it this way. So we've got something like that. Try to do these a little bit darker, since I have all these dark pencil lines as well. Okay, and then curve it this way, past the center, curve it the other way. Like so. And the top is at that top circle that we drew. So I was looking up a little bit about what these 12 petals represented. And there are some different ideas, but the one that resonated with me is that they represent states of being. So you think of the heart chakra, you think of the heart pumping, giving, and taking as well, and then the whole cycle of it. And then you think about the 12 petals being kind of the manifestations of what the heart represents, and the state of being that can come from that, from the pumping. And there's two sides to it, like the hexagram in the center, the up and the down, the duality. So on one side there's 12 divine qualities represented with the heart chakra. Here I am trying to talk while doing the petals at the same time. I can do it. So the 12 divine qualities of the heart are bliss, peace, harmony, love, of course, understanding, empathy, clarity, purity, unity, kindness, forgiveness. And they're balanced out with they're called vrittis. I'm not exactly sure how to say that word. But if the heart chakra is misaligned, then it pushes away the divine mind. So it's the other side of the divine 12, which is lust, fraud, indecision, anxiety, longing, arrogance, discrimination, and defiance. I think there's a couple more in there, but I think you understand that when we're not aligned with the heart chakra, or the heart in general, then these other things can come up. And definitely a balance, but to me, the heart chakra is about self-love a lot. It's first about self-love. And not basing your love for yourself on what other people see. Or fear of judgment, or trying to control somebody else. So got my 12 petals. Woohoo! Make this circle, the original circle, a little bit darker as well. Hi Lauren, I just saw your message that you would love to join. Well, I'm going to be putting this on my YouTube channel, so hopefully you can draw the heart chakra later. I'd love to see what you come up with. Of course, she's probably going to color it all. Knowing Lauren, who's been doing all of my lessons so far, I love seeing her progression and how inspired she is. In fact, the first lesson I did was, well, actually it was the second, but the first one was kind of a test. The first real one was the star tetrahedron pyramid, and she actually drew one and then did it on a rock and gave this to me. I love inspiring people to draw. And there's the basic heart chakra right there. This is the one I was working on here, and I decided to do another row of petals around the outside. And this is why I asked you to keep drawing the lines going further in the page. So now you can take your compass and do another circle. I'm thinking of doing one right where all of the outer circles converge. I didn't do that the first one. So there we have a nice mandala that can be colored just as it is if you want to. You can use your creativity. The dogs are going off outside. Neighborhood dogs. I just guesstimated where that one went. And let's do another one, shall we? If you want to draw the portals around the edge, like I did on this one, the chakra, or the yantra box, then leave room for that. I don't know if I'll do that with this one though. So speaking of colors, this heart chakra is the color green. Now I was wondering, why wouldn't the heart chakra be red or pink? And if you think about the rainbow spectrum and how the chakras are aligned, it does start with the purple and then it goes through the rainbows, and the fourth is down as green. However, if you think about it, green is also the color of growth, of nature. Like my picture here, painting. It's the color that plants decided to be when this nourished by the sun. It's the color between the blue of the sky and the yellow of the sun. It brings really a sense of calmness. I know blue does as well. But green to me represents growth, represents peace. So, yeah. To me, red is the root chakra, so it's more like the fiery, like passion color. So now, I'm going to draw the petals of the top part. Now, kind of just eyeballing it here, so both sides are similar. And I'm going to draw another 12 petals. So this heart chakra that I'm drawing really has a big receiving of these divine qualities and giving out as well. Let's say giving out, not receiving, because honestly, I feel a lot of love in my life right now. So I like to share that, share the energy of it anyway. Through my vibration, through my heartbeat, through the airwaves, even though I haven't been going out too much in being social lately. But just existing in the vibration of this can help the world. People do notice it. Think about when you do yoga and you're doing a heart opening pose, like the Sphinx pose or Ustrasana, where you lean back, also known as camel pose. Oh, sorry. I kind of have a habit of moving my page off the screen. So I encourage you, as you're drawing in general, to clear your mind and use that as a meditation. I have to tell you, I do have, even though I do a little body scan meditation with my tattoo clients when they come, I do have a bit of a challenge actually sitting down somewhere and just meditating for the purpose of just meditating. Ashley's my accountability person right now. I'm trying to do it twice a week, but at the same time, I also use tattooing and drawing as a meditation. Not this at this moment since I'm talking so much, but when I'm drawing by myself, I do try to clear my mind and exist in the vibration of love. That's why I'm starting with the heart chakra. We might draw the other chakras. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, there you go. Now we can start in with the pen, unless you want to start with draw the box around it, but I might just leave it like this for now. And I'm curious how both my different designs, let's see if I can zoom out, will be different. So this is the one I've been drawing with you, and this is the one I did earlier today, which also isn't finished. How about that? Yes, I'm in the middle of a city, so you hear all the city noises. Are you going to let them annoy you? Or are you just going to be okay with it? Be at one with it? I really like to do the petals kind of darker. I've also been thinking about unconditional love and what that is. Loving without conditions. I love you, but I don't love you if you say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing or, eat the wrong thing or wear the wrong thing or, that's not unconditional love. Unconditional love is just loving someone for their being for being alive on this planet. They don't need to do anything. For not their doing, but their being. Doesn't matter what they do, they could do something that hurts you, you know. But can you love them through that and understand them and forgive them? I mean, there's always the unforgivable where you have to leave, but you can still love. You may not want to be around that energy. So now I'm going to darken up all the petals. I don't feel like you have to do petals up here as well. You could do something unique and different. But the main points of the Anahata, the heart chakra symbol, are you have to do petals somewhere. You don't have to do them twice. You don't have to put the symbol in the middle either. You can just keep it the mandala. But you do need the hexagram and a circle around it. You do need the 12 petals. But there's so many infinite ways to draw it. But just a little nick on my painting. Oops. Okay. In the past 2 drawing classes, I've had people live here with me, and I just love that because I get to see how fast I'm going, and they could ask me questions really easily. With this live, it's hard for me to always look at the screen and see if somebody says anything or asks a question or whatnot. So, having said that, I've been toying with the idea of, well, I've actually pretty much decided, that's why I'm saying it to you now, to teach live drawing classes here in the dome. I have some tables I could bring in, probably have room for maybe 6 people, 6 other people. And then, instead of just having a minimal amount of time on a live Instagram, that perhaps people can come multiple days, multiple times, and we could keep working on one piece and get something done that's a little bit bigger and together. And it's a way to discuss the symbols as well, the meaning they might have to you. Many years ago, I was at a festival in Oregon called Beloved, and I was dancing on the dance floor, and there was a girl dancing in front of me, a beautiful girl, and her back was bare. She had a shirt on with straps, and I just kept envisioning this chakra system down her back. Every time I was danced behind her and looked at her, and I envisioned this chakra, the chakras tattooed on her back. So eventually I saw her standing on the side of the dance floor, and I went over to her and we met. And we were talking about random, I don't even remember, and I told her about my vision of seeing the chakra symbols tattooed down her back. And then I moved on and gave her a sticker with my website on it, as I tend to have been known to do. I love passing out stickers. If you ever see me, the chances are that I have stickers to give out are very high. I generally don't leave the house without them. Anyway, so she contacted me about 6 months later. She lived in Oregon and decided that she wanted to get my vision tattooed on her back, which was such an honor. So she flew into Vancouver and I did that for her. She said she'd been studying the chakra since I talked with her, and she decided to go for it. Pretty magical little story there. My vision kind of was birthed, created. I've also tattooed the chakras down somebody's spine. Oh no, that was her spine, down their ribs, sorry. Who was a yoga teacher. But then, after that, I guess he became in the mind, more of the mind frame that people shouldn't be tattooing chakras or talking about them. Shouldn't. There's that word. It's not resonating with the heart chakra right there, I think, because we can take these symbols from other cultures and why not? If we resonate with them, we can recreate them, we can use them. Everything changes, and I think that as long as we honor their heritage, there's nothing wrong with recreating, getting a chakra tattoo on you. But there are places in the world where you would go to jail if they saw that you had a Buddha tattooed on you. Fascinating. I had dreads for almost 10 years. And some people looked at my dreads and judged it, saying, oh, I shouldn't have dreads, I don't have the right background, I don't have the right culture. But I ignored them. I loved my dreads. Until I didn't anymore. And I would not ever go back. But I did love them at the time. They were part of me. They represented reinventing myself at the time, quitting teaching, my teaching career, changing my whole life around. And a big part of that was not caring what people thought and the judgments, because I was opening a tattoo business that was more based on spiritual, sort of intentional thought processes, and at the time the tattoo industry was very, male dominated and old school, so more Sailor Jerry kind of shops. The boys club, here I am coming in with a meditation room and card readings. Just change, you know, and it's okay. Like, I can still have love for all those people that ridiculed me back then, and I honestly have nothing against it, that's for sure. Just realizing it's okay. I'm doing my own thing, and they don't like it. That's their problem, not mine. So I encourage you to color this with green, blue hues. If you feel like coloring it. Bring the peace of nature, calmness, serenity. Into your artwork. Although those people that know me know I'm not coloring mine. I have no idea what time it is. I just wanted to get a little bit more finished before I turn this off. But if you got anything out of today's lesson, just let me know. I just saw a comment. Amazing as always. Ah, thank you so much. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It took me a minute to read your username. What? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But challenges in general make you stronger. So yeah, with the heart chakra, think about the breath. Think about controlling the heart. Think about wind. Think about overcoming challenges, like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Your state of being, what state you choose to vibrate in the world. The state of detachment, sort of pushing away the fear and doubt, insecurities. Thinking how hard your heart works for you to oxygenate your body. The vagus nerve controls the heart rate and breathing. Also attaches to the brainstem. Yeah. Sinking into your body. How often do you do that, you know? An example a friend of mine gave is, he was talking about how a mother can sense when her baby's in distress. She's tuned into the heart rate of the baby. Have you ever had it where you're thinking about somebody and all of a sudden they text you? It's like you're tuned into that person's frequency. You know, there's more out there than meets the eye, you know. Energies. This world gets so distracted by technology. It's kind of funny because I picked up a book yesterday from the community bookshelf, and he was talking about the same thing, and it was written in 1975, so before I was even born. talking about how humans are so distracted by technology. And it just keeps happening, keeps getting worse and worse, I guess, or the same. I don't know. But stepping out into a drawing, like, if you've been drawing this with me, I don't know how long we've been going, but I bet it's about an hour now. I don't know. There's that word. I like to check the time. Yep, it's been an hour. Wow, I'm good. But we spent a whole hour not staring at, well, maybe you're looking at the video to find out how to draw this, so I take that back. But generally, you're looking at your paper. You're not looking at a screen. Even a lot of artists, like some friends I know, thank me for these lessons, saying it's been so long since they've actually drawn on paper, because technology makes things so convenient, you know, with the iPad, the Apple Pencil. It's so easy to draw on a screen, copying and pasting, drawing super straight lines. Look at me just like makeshift drawing these circles. It's actually not so easy. If you don't feel comfortable doing these makeshift circles, you can always dot them. It's a little bit less inhibiting, less scary than drawing. So, like perfect lines. You know, but I definitely recommend these micron pens. Number 3. I like 3, I like 5. If I'm doing small dots, then 1 is good. 0, 1. Sometimes 0.05. If you want to get into really a lot of detail. Oh, I love that comment. I love the lesson, so relaxing and nurturing of the mind. You have a unique perception of life. I'm grateful that you share it with us. Oh, thank you so much, my friend. And I really appreciate it. I'll try to get this away so you can see me. Okay. Thank you so much for coming today. I'd love to see what you've created, and I'm really happy that you came, at least just for a few minutes, checked out my art, and maybe I'll see you live one day. Have a great day.